Hello beautiful souls, Avalon here, and I just wanted to show you quickly what I have on my reading table for this rotation. I did a quick video on Instagram and people seem to ask me the questions about the deck and what I've chosen, and I thought that it would be really interesting if I could just show you a bit closer what the decks were and name them, and that way you know exactly what energies I'm working with at this moment in time. And yeah, it's just a bit of a share, nothing hectic. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to take you for a little walk along my reading table at the moment. I do have my laptop on my reading table at the moment because I'm uploading readings, and I'm also doing a bit of writing for the Bonestone book. So please excuse the cord that you will see, and I'll try and keep the laptop out of sight. So let's get started. This is Soul Cards 2. No one is unfamiliar with the side of Soul Cards 2. I have Soul Cards 2 on my table most of the time. And I'm sure you all know by now that I'm in love with the Sun and Moon Tarot. So the Sun and Moon Tarot is sitting snugly right here. I got a few questions about this deck here with the starry back, and this is a new deck to me. This is the Stretch Tarot, and it came by way of a lovely friend in Norway who had an extra copy of it, and so she was kind enough to gift me with this beautiful deck, and I've only just opened it and I'm going to be beginning my work with it this rotation. Another deck that I'm doing this with is a deck that was gifted to me by the beautiful KP. This is the Tarot of the Xerxes Magi, and I just love the backing of this deck, don't you? I love the backing of the Stretch as well. It's a bit reminiscent of the Morgan Greer in a way. But the back of the Xerxes Magi is just everything to me, and it kind of really works with the Moonbox tarot spray that came in the November divination box, so that is no coincidence, folks. But this is a really quirky deck from just the look of things. It's got such a wonderful looking energy. It's really interesting, and I can't wait to sort of see what happens when I start working with it. It is made by Duck Soup, in case you were wondering, and it will be sitting here for this rotation, hopefully getting some use under this beautiful piece of fluorite. This here is iolite, that there is selenite, and that is a piece of fluorite. So over to the back here we have the Ostara Tarot. Now I recently acquired the Ostara Tarot and I wanted to know what all the fuss was about. I'm pretty impressed with it actually. I know that it's made by 4 different artists and I'm loving the vibe of it. I have one small gripe about it, and that is that they don't really put the suits up here. They've basically got the Queen. You can guess that that's the Queen of Cups, but and that's obviously swords, and that there are some that are quite obvious and there are others that are not, but the suits are not actually written on the cards from what I can tell. But I haven't had an absolute proper in-depth play with that. I'm just really impressed with the actual artwork, and I thought, yes. And I love the backing. Isn't the backing just beautiful? And it's sitting under a nice piece of amethyst. So that is pretty much it for the oh no, wait. Oh, I'm leaving the best out. Leaving the best out. This is the Ophidia Rosa Tarot, and by Layla and Olive. And I've been talking about this one. I'm having a really solid working sesh with this particular deck at the moment. I'm just loving the energy, and let me tell you, am I impressed with this deck. I think that this is one of those decks that just exceeded my expectations in every way, and I'm so impressed with it. The backing of this particular deck is absolutely gorgeous. Sorry guys, I'm being a bit clumsy here because I'm doing this one-handed, but the back of this decking, look at that. And I said decking and I didn't mean to, I meant deck, but look at it, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful, and it's got brush gilded edges. It is an extraordinarily created, well-crafted deck. It's an indie deck. It's sitting under a piece of clear quartz, and it likes that clear quartz, but it's also sitting next to a desert rose. So let me take you over to the, and I've got some oils as you can see here. I'm going to take you over to the oracle side of the table with the beautiful Pitha Botanica Oracle. And this is the card that I got yesterday when I did a draw on STW, and really loved the message. But this is an absolutely beautiful deck. It is the sister deck to the Botanica Rosa Tarot, which I just showed you by Layla and Olive. and a beautifully crafted deck. Similar theme as far as color palette and type of stock have been used. And I'm getting to know this deck, so I can't really critique it at any stage yet. Only will I say that it is amazing. So I'm really, really happy with this. And again, a deck that has exceeded my expectations in every way. So pretty excited. This is my new baby here. This is the Let Your Inner Goddess Shine, something to that effect anyway. So this one is by Alana Fairchild, and it is a deck that I sort of really love the color palette of it. And I purchased it on the sly, just this weekend gone. Look at that one, isn't it beautiful? And I'm really loving it. I love the messages. It's a little soft, and there is a couple of cards here that bother me for certain reasons, but once I'm ready to do a review of this, I'll talk a little bit more about that. Right now, I'm just in the getting to know phase of this deck, and I might come to love it or I might come to resent it. Who knows? We must give it a go nonetheless. And so this deck is on my reading table for November to December and probably to January. I'm also working with one of the most beautiful oracle decks in the world, and that is the Kuan Yin Oracle. And this one is also by Alana Fairchild. Surprise, surprise. The backing of this deck is just stunning. And I've got to say, this is one of the most visually beautiful decks I have ever seen as far as an oracle goes. I don't think that there are other oracle decks that can match or even exceed its beauty. For some reason, I'm just really taken by this particular deck. The artwork used, oh my god, it's so stunning. And I find the keywords, however, to be rather unhelpful. You really need the guidebook, or at least an understanding of the guidebook, to be able to read independently. But Princess of the Autumn Harvest, you can at least take a little something away from that, but there are just some. Dynasty of the Divine Mother, I mean, yeah, it will allow you to work with it a little bit, but then there are some that are so, just really, really obscure. So, yeah, you do need a little bit of an understanding of what's in the guidebook for that one. And there we have it. And, oh my god, I'm making a mess. And then over here, this one needs no introduction. It is the Connected and Free Alchemist Oracle by Inner Hue. And I really love this oracle deck. It's beautifully crafted, and yeah, I decided to keep it on my table for another rotation because I didn't get as much use out of it last rotation as I would have liked. I did use it, but not to the full extent, not to the extent that would enable me to develop experiences with it on the whole and have really great stories to tell about it. So I want to wait until I get to that point before I move on to another deck. So there you have it. They are the decks that I am using for this rotation. Nothing fancy, just the ones that have really called to my attention. I'm really getting to enjoy the process of getting to know new decks, and I've had a few decks that have been wrapped up on my shelves for a while, and I'm finally getting to the unwrapping phase of those decks and just, you know, exercising their charm a bit and seeing where it takes me. So they are the decks that I'm using for this particular rotation. Don't know how long this particular rotation will go for. I went a bit stagnant between Imbolc and, let's say, Beltane. I've only just changed my reading space, and my reading space has changed to a bit more of an earthy, darker aspect of Fae for me. So I'm working with Litha energy at the time of Beltane as well. I've got a little something for both the Sabbaths, but I've been a bit slack with my altar changes and my sacred space change ups, which is fine. I don't force these types of things. If it's working for me and I want to keep it on there, then I just let it go. If it's not working and I feel like I've exhausted that particular design style, I'll just go with it, really. So that's all I had for you today, guys. Much love, many blessings. Look after yourselves.